Hey everybody, it's Dominic, also known as TikTok. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to show you how you can easily speed up your workflow with a BeatMaker 3 template that I've been using lately. So this is going to allow you to go from a simple loop into full arrangements that are mixed and ready to go. Before we get off into that, on this channel I like to share lots of tips and tricks in production using iOS apps, iPad music apps. Also Studio One tutorials coming very shortly. So if you're into that sort of thing, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content like that. Also, if you find this video valuable, please consider hitting that like button and make sure you turn on your notifications so that you're notified of new videos as I upload them. So let's get off into this video and let me show you these workflows. So I have BeatMaker 3 right here, and I have a song up that uses this particular template that I use. So we're going to start with that, and I'm going to show you how I break it down and how I have it set up. And then we're going to start with a fresh template that's empty, and we're going to build a beat there, and I'll show you how you can go from a simple loop into a full arrangement that is mixed and ready to go. So let's get off into it. So this is a finished song. I like to use the scenes mode. And the reason why I like to use the scenes mode is because it's very flexible. I can build patterns very easily. I can move them around to different scenes and then play with the arrangement very easily versus doing everything in the song arrangement mode. So that's why I use the scenes mode. And so I have a couple of scenes here, and in my template I basically have an intro scene, I have an intro 2 scene, and then I have my main loop. So my main loop is where I initially start the beat. I start with maybe some drums, or I start with a melody, a chord progression, what have you. And you'll see that in this main loop I have patterns that are all labeled 1. This first one is labeled 2, but that's only because I have a variation of that. So once I tap on it, you'll see that I have a bunch of different patterns here. I have my main drum, and then I have my main drum verse, which is basically the pattern that I use throughout the verse. Then I have patterns that are labeled drum breakdown 1, drum breakdown 2, build up 1, variation 2. So you see it's already organized. And essentially when you open up the template, these are all empty clips. Of course they're not empty now. Some of them are empty because I didn't use them. But for instance, the drum breakdown 2 is empty, but drum breakdown 1 is filled with some data there. And basically I took the main drum pattern and then I took out some sounds, maybe the kick drum, so that I only have maybe the hi-hat and the snare going. And then I call it drum breakdown 2. So I'm going to put this back on drum verse breakdown, and let's listen to this. So you hear that? And let's go to the... Alright, so this is where I have a build up. So the drums go out, and then I have some type of fill pattern at the end that's going to lead into the next pattern. Alright, and then here's a breakdown, okay? And then we'll go back to the main. So you see how you can easily just launch any one of these scenes and kind of play with the arrangement and see how things kind of flow before I actually get to my song arrangement page. And I'll show you how things are set up on the song arrangement page. So for each one of these scenes I have different patterns, and by having the patterns already preset up there, empty, it makes it easy for me to just record right into the pattern. I don't have to create a new pattern every time I come up with a new idea. It's already there for me. And then I also have each instrument already set up on each bank, and I can easily change those without altering the pattern there. That makes it easy for the creativity to flow, and I don't have to worry about creating a new pattern and that sort of thing. So now how do I go from the scene page to the arrangement page? So let's go over to the song arrangement page, and you'll see that everything is blanked out right now. And to make it go live, I simply tap the play button here in the upper right hand corner, and then now all of the patterns are live. It's no longer playing on the scenes page, it's going to play from here. And if I press play, it plays from the beginning. And I have my beat tag muted there. Alright, so the way I like to set up my beats is to have some type of intro, and then maybe I want the chorus to hit first a little bit, and then go into a 16-bar verse, chorus, 16-bar verse, chorus. Sometimes some rappers, they like to go 12, but I like to just keep it at 16. If they want to edit it later on as they're recording it in a session, they have that, you know, they're at liberty to do that. They have that freedom. But I just like to keep it 8, 16, 8, 16, which is a traditional arrangement. And so I have, in my template, I have all of the clips laid out, so it doesn't matter what I record here on the scenes page, okay? Main drum verse is always going to be laid out in the song arrangement. And then you'll see I have drum breakdown 1 there, I have another drum breakdown there. At the beginning, of course, I have that build up. Okay, so it doesn't matter what I record in those patterns, they're always going to be laid out in the song arrangement the same way. Alright, so that makes it easy to go from creating here, alright, to just simply hitting this play button, and then all of a sudden the patterns are already arranged. I don't have to copy paste anything, I don't have to delete or remove anything. So at this point I can tweak some things, I can move things, patterns around. I can go into my pattern list for each one of these banks and just drag patterns over into there and move things around. But for the most part, everything is pretty much done already. So let's go to the empty template. Let me show you what that looks like, and then we'll build a song from there. So I have my trap beat template. We're going to load that. Let's give it a second to load because, again, all of my instruments are already loaded. Drums are already loaded. The beauty about this is that you can change your drum banks if you want, and nothing else changes. Your patterns will still be there. Your arrangement will still be there. Same thing with AUV3 plugins. If you want to change those out, you can change those out without changing how the patterns are set up or how they're laid out in the song area. So when we open the template, you'll notice that the song, all of the patterns are grayed out. That means they're not active. So we go to our scenes. You notice that all of the patterns here are empty. Okay, so if I press play here, the only thing you're going to hear is my beat tag. Okay, so I've already laid that out so that in my arrangement I can put it anywhere I want in the arrangement and it's going to play my beat tag. Alright, let me put on my headphones here so I can hear a little bit. Alright, we're going to keep it real simple here. So on this bank with SynthMaster Player, I already have a SynthMaster Player loaded with some sound, so we're just going to roll with that. So let's go record. Alright, so before we go any further, let me talk more about this template. This template not only has patterns set up, it not only has your arrangement set up, but if we look at the mixer, we already have plugins set up as well. So I'm going to disable some of my plugins, especially the ones on my main out, because those are the most CPU intensive. So I want to reserve some of that CPU for actual beat creation. Once I get to the pattern arrangement stage, then we'll turn those back on before we export. Some of these other banks also have some processing going on, so some equalization, some delay. So we may want to turn those off just to kind of conserve some of that processing power. So there's a lot of plugins going on right here. And then of course, before you export, you turn those back on. I pretty much like to have my template almost kind of pre-mixed so that it's easier for me to just kind of dial things in right before I'm ready to export, just speeding up that workflow. So, you know, preparation just helps you in speeding up the whole process in the end, so it allows you to get beats out really fast. Okay, so one other thing I need to tell you about opening a template. The first thing you need to do when you open a template is to go up here and make sure you save make sure you save as a new song, because you don't want to overwrite your template. And it's BeatMaker will do auto saves as long as you don't hit the save button. It won't overwrite your template. So if you start by accident, just make sure you go up here and you do a save as, and then you rename the track. Alright, so let's say new beat 1 and save. So it'll be saved as its own thing and won't overwrite your template. So far in this track we have this. Alright, so let's add some drums to that. Alright, so we're going to roll with that. So that's our basic 8-bar loop right now. So how does that break down? If you look in the rest of the scene, you'll notice that all of the patterns in each one of these scenes are now populated. So now it makes it easy for me to make different variations of the loop, also do build-ups, breakdowns, all of those sorts of things. So if I go to scene 4, that can easily be some type of breakdown, right? Or if I go now, this little hi-hat pattern was already in there, but I can easily alter that, record a new hi-hat pattern in there, or take my main drum loop there, break it down, you know, do different variations of that type of beat just so I can have a different type of vibe there. For my intros, I might just roll with that as an intro and just go right into the main loop. Alright, so an easy way to test out your arrangement, do variations on your beats and whatnot, breaking out of that 8-bar loop. So what does that look like once you go to the song page? So now once we're in the song area of BeatMaker 3, you see our arrangement, it's blanked out. I hit the play button here, and now all of those patterns are already pre-arranged in the song part of the page. And you'll see I have a drum build up here, I have my main drums here. So if I just start this, and I'm going to unmute my beat tag. So once I start populating and creating inside of my drum build patterns and whatnot, those are going to populate, and I'll already have those in my arrangement. So a quick, easy way to go from having a simple 4 or 8 bar loop into having a full-blown arrangement. Of course, I have all of my banks and my drums kind of pre-mixed to make it easier there, and then I have my master bus processing right here, so I just enable those, and then I'm going to have pretty much a finished beat. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys, how you can go from having a simple 4 or 8 bar loop using scenes inside of BeatMaker 3 into going to a full-blown arrangement that's already pre-mixed using a BeatMaker 3 template. So of course, if you have more questions on the template, how I created it inside of BeatMaker 3, please let me know in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to address those for you. Again, if you like content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you found this video to be valuable, please make sure you hit the like button and you turn on your notifications as well. So y'all keep it booming. I'm going to work on this beat a little bit more, and I'll see you in the next one.